So I build electric guitars, and when I'm not doing that, I'm doing band stuff or listing stuff on eBay. I don't really have any spare time to earn any extra pocket money. So I figured I'd just Truman Show myself and pimp out my privacy. This is Last Chance Arcade.
Hello, little man. Oh, yes.
Hey, you guys. Welcome back. It's Friday. We did it. We made it to the end of the week. This Friday was pretty good, for all things considered. Definitely better than the day I had yesterday. Although, as you can see when I get to my car here, it's been just a toilet for the local wildlife. Got more bird shit and a big dog piss up the wheel there. Fridays are obviously the best day, not just because the weekend's right around the corner, but on a Friday, the bush dog gets us all a coffee from Starbucks, which is very kind considering the price tag on that. There's 5 of us in there, so it's probably like a £300 bill every time. And on this particular Friday, he got me a croissant as well. Fantastic. Set me right up for the day. I'm going to talk to you about something a little personal today, because I've realised that I've said a few things in the last few episodes that don't really make any sense without the context. Now, I didn't want to really talk about this, at least for, 100 episodes or something, but I found myself in a bit of a predicament. Like, yesterday I had a bit of a whingy episode, which I'm not too proud of, but it happened. And I just kind of wanted to give everyone a little bit of context about my underlying saltiness about most things in life. But I also really don't want it to come across as like a sympathy grab. I didn't want to mention it for a long time because I didn't want people to come and join the channel because they felt bad for me, basically. So what I'm alluding to here, basically, about 10 years ago, when I was like 25, I got diagnosed with stage 4 bowel cancer. It was a big old cancer. Obviously there isn't a stage 5, and when they found it, it was 47 centimeters. It's like half a meter. So I've got a big old scar right from between my titties to down just above my piece. It was, probably the biggest thing that's happened to me in my life. It changed everything. Like I mentioned about wanting to do tattooing, and I'd saved up a load of money, and then I couldn't write and stuff. That was because of the chemo. So I saved up a bit of money to do tattooing. I had to start chemotherapy. I was on 3 very strong chemotherapies. So I'd go in, I'd have one, I think it was like an hour infusion or something. So I was hooked up to the drip for an hour. Then I had another one that lasted a couple more hours. And then I had to take like a pump home that kind of, I was hooked up to it for 48 hours. So I did this every week. So I had like 2.5 days of chemo per week. And eventually it blew a hole in the tumour. So the tumour was enveloping my whole bowel, and when it busted open, all my insides just kind of homogenized with each other, if you will. And I was staying at my mum and dad's place at the time, which is in the middle of absolute nowhere. And I woke up in the night, I knew something was wrong, and I came downstairs in absolute agony, and I was like, you need to call an ambulance. This isn't normal. This is worse than it was before. And because it was in the middle of nowhere, it took a little while for the ambulance to get to me. And when they did get to me, they couldn't offer me any pain relief because all my veins had collapsed because of the chemo. So they gave me some cocodamol orally, which, inevitably just kind of fell into my internal cavity because I was no longer just a tube from mouth to anus. I was, there was a lot more in the middle. A few pirates of the pancreas, if you will. So I got rushed to hospital. I spent all day in A&E. I got fingered by about 20 people someone would come and finger me. Oh no, the back passage seems nice and clear. I'm just going to get another opinion. And someone else would come in, and they just kind of ran a train on me for a little bit until I had to have my emergency operation. Now, I didn't look up the odds for this while it was happening because I personally believe that your brain is a lot stronger than you give it credit for. So I just said, I'll do some positive thinking, you guys do the medical stuff, and hopefully together we can get past it. So I go in for the big old operation. It happens. I come out like they sent in a priest before I went in to basically, if I wanted to make peace with God before this operation. So it must have been pretty bad. I mean, the doctor's exact words were, it was pretty touch and go at one point. So I'm not sure if I died on the table or not, but it was definitely close. Okay. So I had the operation, and I was in a room by myself the next month while I was recovering, and the doctor came in and he said, as far as I'm concerned, we've got it. We've got every bit of it. I was the one who did the operation. I was inside. I took every bit of cancer out that I could find. As far as I'm concerned, you're all clear now. Which, long story short, it turns out I've got something called Lynch syndrome, so I'll never truly get the all clear. I'll always have to have like yearly checkups, and I've just had my last annual colonoscopy, which is absolutely outstanding because my colonoscopy for the first 4 years it fell on New Year's Eve, so that was pretty fun. But it messed me up. It totally messed me up. It messed up my head worse than ever, and it doesn't really get right. Like, you see cancer survivors, sure, the physical element of it's gone, but it's always in your head. So like I said, I'd saved up some money to get a tattoo machine and stuff. As soon as I got diagnosed, I was like, well, I might not be here next week. I'm gonna buy a load of Lego. So I bought a load of Lego, and I bought some comic books, and I spent all my money on, the stuff that I like. Nothing super expensive or anything like that, but I got some Yu-Gi-Oh cards, like some old Pokemon cards and stuff. And it was, it kind of kept me sane during that time. But what it does is it destroys the part of your brain that can plan for the future. Like, I had a bit, I wouldn't say I had a career planned out, because like I said, I wanted to build guitars, I wanted to do tattooing. It's all very, it can go one way or the other. But after the whole ordeal, well, I say the whole ordeal, after the guy told me that it had all gone, a nurse came in probably an hour later, and she was like, really sorry, we've looked at your scan again, and it turns out it's in your liver as well. So I had to have 50% of my liver and my gallbladder taken out after the chemo had worn off and I could actually heal again. Because on the first one, since I was mid-chemo, all the stitches that they put in me, my skin couldn't heal, so it just all tore open. I spent a month laid on my back, like with my intestines just hanging out. That's why I was in a room by myself. Sorry if that's a bit gory. But yeah, it took away my ability to plan for the future, and it's 10 years later and it's only just coming back. And this YouTube thing is really the first time, well, besides the band, the first time that I felt excited about the future. Like, I'm happy living day to day, and I'm happy making the most of day to day, but now I'm looking forward to the future. And I hope that, a few people come along with me and we can build this whole thing together. But like I say, it was a massive, massive part of my life. Way too much to go over in 10 minutes. But if anyone has any questions about it, they can ask me. I'm more than happy to answer. And if anyone's going through it themselves and they're stuck on YouTube like I was, reach out. I'm happy talking about that kind of stuff. And if I can give any advice, that's even better. Come on. I'm going to leave you with a quote by Nietzsche today because I'm sophisticated like that. He said, "To live is to suffer. To survive is to find some meaning in the suffering." And I finally found my meaning, I think. And my meaning is building guitars, making videos, and making music. Just living my life, really. See you tomorrow.